babies. If they're good enough for dingoes, they're good enough for you.
And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man.
That's right.
Of the seed of man.
The word seed is sperm, and sperm comes through having sex.
It's shut out of your father's rod,
right.
To put it in layman terms, in his penis.
That's right.
That means a man put his penis in a woman and bust off in it.
Then the angel said to him, "Take out the entrails of this fish, and lay up his heart and his gall and his liver for thee. For these are necessary for useful medicines."
The rest of the chapters of the book of Esther,
Go ahead.
which are found neither in the Hebrew nor in the Chaldee.
Greetings, fellow worker slaves, podcasting at 128 kilobits from the Fortress of Squalitude. This is the Atheist in the Trailer Park podcast. I'm your host, Tucker. Professor Fuzznuts has decided to join us because he wants some attention. Yes, it's a podcast hosted by a guy and he's cat. Get over it. And welcome to another Biblical Apocrypha episode. We're about halfway through this mess, and it's taking less time than I thought it would, which is somewhat surprising. Of course, that's the halfway point in terms of books, not pages. Since I'm using a web-based version of the Apocrypha, I don't know how it works out in terms of pages. A bit of housekeeping before I get to Heretic Woman and I reading from The Wisdom of Jesus, son of Sirach. For those of you wondering, I did get paid for one of the days I was out sick, the previous week. So I'm not completely broke, though things are going to be a bit thin for this meet. For me this month. Not sure if I'm going to get paid for the day I have to take off later on for ReasonCon. In theory, I have a vacation day I can use for it, but I don't know. I asked at work, and they were supposed to get back to me on the subject, but haven't so far. Guess I'll have to bug them about that again. Speaking of ReasonCon, that's going to kind of throw things off for me as far as the show schedule goes. I will be heading back on the day that the show normally posts, and that episode would normally be a news episode. I don't think that America and I will be able to get together to record anything in advance that I can have auto-post, and with me not having a consistent ride to and from work, planning is a bit difficult for me. Presently, what I think I'm going to do is post a Biblical Apocrypha episode for that day. I know that this kind of throws the pattern of things off, with one week the show being news and the next it being biblically related stuff. But at the moment, that seems to be the easiest way for me to do things. This means you'll get 3 weeks in a row of the Apocrypha so I can keep the pattern going. If I have time to come up with a news episode or something else, I'll stick that up instead of more Apocrypha. Just have to see how it goes. And Patreon listeners, you're no doubt wondering what happened to your second episode that I promised. The answer to that is fairly simple. I didn't get a ride home on Friday like I planned, and that's when Heretic Woman and I recorded this episode, so I didn't have time to finish editing the episode I planned to put up. Couldn't do it last night, as Chris and I from the Podunk Polymath were supposed to record, but he didn't get in touch with me until late as he wasn't feeling well. I will get that episode up in the next day or so, and the other episode you'll get this month will be something, I'm not sure what, that I'll record at ReasonCon. I am going to try to record an interview with Shelley Segal there, so you might get that, or if I manage to interview someone else, you might get that instead. It all depends upon what happens. And I can't think of anything else, so let's get to me and Heretic Woman reading from the Apocrypha.
My son, defraud not the poor of his living, and make not the needy eyes to wait long. Make not an hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress. Add not more trouble to an heart that is vexed, and defer not to give him that is in need. That is the shittiest writing I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. But it's,
the whole 2 sentences, don't kick somebody when they're down.
Yeah, pretty much, and help out those who need help.
Yeah.
Reject not the supplication of the afflicted, neither turn away thy face from a poor man. Turn not away thine eye from the needy, and give him none occasion to curse thee. For if he curse thee in the bitterness of his soul, his prayer shall be heard of him that made him.
Get thyself the love of the congregation, and bow thy head to a great man. Now, which great man would that be, I wonder?
Yeah.
It just says a great man. Let it not grieve thee to bow down thine ear to the poor, and give him a friendly answer with meekness. Deliver him that suffereth wrong from the hand of oppression, and be not faint-hearted when thou sittest in judgment. So, give to the poor, but don't be wussy if you have to judge them. Don't be faint-hearted in judgment. That's like, don't be a weenie when you have to judge them. So give to the poor and then tell them to go get a job.
Yeah. Be as a father unto the fatherless, and instead of an husband unto their mother, so shalt thou be as the son of the Most High, and he shall love thee more than thy mother doth. So does that mean you say nice things about the chick's kid, and then you let her nail you up?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
And although apparently God will love you more than her, so look what happened to Mary.
But I'm not really into dudes, so
So if you're trying to get laid, that might not turn out so well.
Wisdom exalteth her children, and layeth hold of them that seek her. He that loveth her loveth life, and they that seek to her early shall be filled with joy.
He that holdeth her fast shall inherit glory, and wheresoever she entereth, the Lord will bless. So what, got a strap on? Is that it?
Sounds like it.
They that serve her shall minister to the Holy One, and them that love her the Lord doth love. Now that sounds like some dominatrix action going on.
Yep.
Whoso giveth ear unto her shall judge the nations, and he that attendeth unto her shall dwell securely. Yep, that's mistress, all right.
Hey, baby, you give good ear.
With the strap on.
Yeah. If a man commit himself unto her, he shall inherit her, and his generation shall hold her in possession. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws. Oh yeah, she is it totally bondage. Total.
Whips and chains, baby. You bring discipline in it, there you go.
I think this episode's title's going to be Wisdom Has a Strap On.
Awesome. Is it you or me?
It's my last verse.
Yeah, I thought so.
Then will she return the straight way unto him, and comfort him, and shew him her secrets.
Ooh, yeah. But if he go wrong, she will forsake him and give him over to his own ruin, and probably beat the shit out of him with a whip. Yeah. Observe the opportunity and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. For there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory and grace. So yeah, don't fuck up, or the mistress is going to tan your hide.
And I think we know what shame is glory has a hole in it.
Yes, it does. Glory hole.
I work for a medical supply company where we make different things. And this one gal, she's running this machine, and she's pulling these things off, and they're a drape, is what they're called, but they're about the size of a napkin, right? And they've got this egg-shaped hole in them. And I look at her and I go, "So are those portable glory holes?"
I think that's what that is.
And she's like, "Well, it's an eye drape for eye surgery." She goes, "But I like yours better."
Portable glory. You just hold one up and be like, "Insert here."
Yeah.
I'll just pretend I can't see you on the other side of the little sheet thing. You're at 21.
22.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Accept no person against thy soul, and let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall. Viagra will help that. And refrain not to speak when there is occasion to do good, and hide not thy wisdom in her beauty. For by speech wisdom shall be known, and learning by the word of the tongue. Hey, baby, I'm going to have you speaking in tongues.
In no wise speak against the truth, but be abashed of the error of thine ignorance. Be not ashamed to confess thy sins, and force not the course of the river. What's no terraforming? Okay. Make not thyself an underling to a foolish man, neither accept the person of the mighty. So make sure your slave's not a fool. Okay.
Yeah. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. Be not hasty in thy tongue, and in thy deeds slack and remiss. Be not as a lion in thy house, nor frantic among thy servants. Let not thine hand be stretched out to receive, and shut when thou shouldest repay.
Set thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for my life. Follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk the ways of thy heart. And say not, who shall control me for thy works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride.
Okay. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me? For the Lord is long-suffering, he will in no wise let thee go. Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin.
The fuck is propitiation?
It's familiar. The action of propitiating or appeasing a god, spirit, or person.
Oh, okay.
But it says, concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin. So, it's like, sounds to me like it's saying, praise God by committing as many sins as you can.
Oh, that's like that meme. It says, if you don't sin, Jesus died for nothing.
Right. Or as a buddy of mine, he used to do a character called the Reverend Pal Lindsay Gordon. And he's like, God wants you to sin. Because if you don't sin, you won't know why it's wrong. So you need to sin. Sin as much as you can. And say not his mercy is great. Okay, so don't say that. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation resteth upon sinners.
So don't say that he has great mercy, because he's going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
Okay. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So make sure you kiss ass as often as possible, because he's gonna fuck you up and you won't know when it's coming. Gotcha. Yep. Set not thine heart upon goods unjustly gotten, for they shall not profit thee in the day of calamity. So don't steal shit. I thought we had that covered.
Yeah.
Okay. Winnow not with every wind, and go not into every way, for so doth the sinner that hath a double tongue. But if you don't winnow, how are you going to get your wheat?
I don't know, but I'm thinking if you've got two tongues, you can make a good living in the porn industry.
This is very true.
Be steadfast in thy understanding, and let thy word be the same. Be swift to hear, and let thy life be sincere, and with patience give answer. If thou I
was going to say, that almost sounded like a haiku.
Yeah. If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth.
Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. Well, not if he uses it well. Be not called a whisperer, and lie not in wait with thy tongue. For a foul shame is upon the thief, and an evil condemnation upon the double tongue. So he don't want you to go in the porn industry, apparently.
What fun is that, man?
I know. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. So you have to know everything?
Your guess is as good as mine.
I thought he didn't want you to know anything. That's why he didn't want you to eat the damn fruit.
Well.
Make up your fucking mind, God. Jeez.
Yeah, I know it. Okay. Instead of a friend, become not an enemy, for thereby thou shalt inherit an ill name, shame, and reproach. Even so shall a sinner that hath a double tongue. Okay. Extol not thyself in the counsel of thine own heart, that thy soul be not torn in pieces as a bowl. Straying alone. The fuck? Thou shalt eat up thy leaves, and lose thy fruit, and leave thyself as a dry tree.
So we go from a bull torn to pieces to a dry tree.
Yeah, and how does a bull tear itself to pieces with nobody around?
Yeah, because he's straying alone. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
No.
Okay. A wicked soul shall destroy him that hath it, and shall make him to be laughed to scorn of his enemies. Sweet language will multiply friends, and fair speaking tongue will increase kind greetings. So don't be an asshole. Okay.
Yeah.
Be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000, as long as it's not Kellyanne Conway.
Ooh, snap. The after party Barbie.
Uh-huh. She's really after men. Like that past due date. Woo!
Yeah. If thou wouldst get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
So vet your Facebook friends.
Yeah. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. And there is a friend who, being turned to enmity and strife, will discover thy reproach. Uh-huh.
All right. It's sort of like Facebook 101, I guess. Again, some friend is a companion at the table, and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. But in thy prosperity he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servants. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thy face. Okay. So, Facebook friends are fake?
Yeah.
Yes. Don't get catfished.
Separate thyself from thine enemies, and take heed of thy friends. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such an one hath found a treasure. Nothing doth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. Okay, sure. A faithful friend, and nothing doth countervail them, right? Right, okay, a faithful friend would be willing to take a bullet for you. I think that pretty much countervails them. I could be wrong, but...
Yeah, I would say so. Okay. A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. Why is it everybody has to be afraid of this guy? Like, what the fuck is that?
I don't know, and I'm thinking if I've got the clap, I want penicillin, not my best friend who probably gave it to me.
Whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright. For as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. No, you don't know who the fuck your neighbor's gonna be. I mean, you know, for all you know, you could end up with a Scientologist next door. Yeah. And that'll fuck your shit up, let me tell you. My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age. But we've established that wisdom is a dominatrix, so I don't know if you'd want her until you're old, necessarily.
But wait till you get to this line. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon. Aha!
Oh, there we go. That sounds like a plot for the next movie.
Yeah. Sounds like she wants to be on top, buddy.
Plowing with your fruit.
Yep. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her.
So if you don't know what you're doing, she'll dump your sorry ass.
Yeah. She will lie upon him. See? I told you she wants to be on top.
Well, she's a dominatrix. Of course she does.
Yeah. As a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him ere it be long.
Uh-huh. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many. Well, we know there's a lot of stupid people out there. Give ear, my son. Receive my advice and refuse not my counsel. Ooh, baby, you give good ear. And put thy feet into her fetters and thy neck into her chain. Okay, that sounds like a really twisted game of Twister.
Yeah.
Naked Twister, there we go.
Mm-hmm. We should do that at ReasonCon.
There we go. Oh, shit.
Come unto her with thy whole heart. Amyl nitrates, poppers, you know, those really get you spurting from what I understand. And keep her ways with all thy power. Be the clit master. Search and seek. And she shall be made known unto me. No, I'm sorry, but the clit is a myth. There is no clit.
No, that's the G-spot.
And when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go.
Is that grabbing by the pussy?
I'm thinking it is.
There we go. We have biblical pussy grabbing.
For at last thou shalt find her rest, and that shall be turned to thy joy.
Then shall her fetters be a strong defense for thee, and her chains be a robe of glory. Yep. For there is a golden ornament upon her, and her bands are purple lace.
Might want to loosen them a little bit.
Yeah, just a smidge there. Thou shalt put her on as a robe of honor, and thou shalt put her about thee as a crown of joy. Is that like sit on my face?
I'm thinking. I'm just wondering if it's going to talk about her having a pearl necklace. My son... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say 32 is your verse.
My son, if thou wilt... take Viagra, thou shalt be taught. And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. Stand in the multitude of the elders, and cleave unto him that is wise.
Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. I'm not sure you'd appreciate that so much.
I don't think so.
Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord, and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thine heart, and give thee wisdom at thine own's desire. So he'll give you a dominatrix named Wisdom. Okay.
Looks that way.
Alrighty then, with a strap on.
Yeah. Do no evil, so shall no harm come unto thee. Depart from the unjust, and iniquity shall turn away from thee. My son, sow not upon the furrows of unrighteousness, and thou shalt not reap them sevenfold.
Seek not of the Lord preeminence, neither of the king seat of honor. Justify not thyself before the Lord, and boast not of thy wisdom before the king. So don't show off your dominatrix in front of the king, he'll get jealous, okay?
Yeah.
Seek not to be judge, being not able to take away iniquity, lest at any time thou fear the person of the mighty, and stumbling block in the way of thy uprightness. I almost read that as uptightness,
Yeah.
but... And they have stumbling block as one big word.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here.
7.
Yeah. Offend not against the multitude of a city. Well, yeah, that's a good idea. Don't piss off the entire population of a city. It's a good way to get killed.
Uh-huh.
Then thou shalt not cast thyself down among the people. Bind not one sin upon the other, for in one thou shalt not be unpunished. Say not, God will look upon the multitude of my oblations, and when I offer to the Most High God, he will accept it.
What is an oblation?
That's an offering, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be not... Yeah, go ahead.
It's an offering.
Okay. Be not faint-hearted when thou makest thy prayer, and neglect not to give alms. Laugh no man to scorn in the bitterness of his soul, for there is one which humbleth and exalteth. That made absolutely no fucking sense. Devise not a lie against thy brother, neither do the like to thy friend. I think they covered don't lie, like way back in that Genesis thing.
Yeah. I'm fairly certain you're right about that. Use not to make any manner of lie, for the custom thereof is not good. Use not many words in a multitude of elders, and make not much babbling when thou prayest. Shut the fuck up.
So, if you're gonna fucking pray, don't babble.
Just hurry up and get the shit over with and get on.
So,
and I think anybody who's been hungry at a family gathering and had to listen to an hour-long prayer will deeply sympathize with this.
Uh-huh.
Hate not laborious work, neither husbandry, which the Most High hath ordained.
Husbandry is like farming.
Right.
Yeah, it's not being a house husband or anything, which, it should be, but it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know what being a husband has to do with animals, but hey, it's the Bible. You never know.
Well, I've heard sheep's the best lay you'll ever have.
So I hear. Number not thyself among the multitude of sinners, but remember that wrath will not tarry long. Humble thyself greatly, for the vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms. Okay, the fire's gonna burn the worms.
That's it's like fire and worms? How does that work?
And if you're wormy, then you're probably dead and you won't know you've been set on fire. So that's kind of stupid, but okay. Where's the worms? Oh, there it is. Change not a friend for any good by no means, neither a faithful brother for the gold of Ophir. So you're not allowed to change your friends if they're good?
I'm guessing. I'm just kind of curious. Who the hell?
Who's Ophir?
Oh, okay. Ophir is a port or region mentioned in the Bible, famous for its wealth. King Solomon received a cargo of gold, silver, sandalwood, pearls, ivory, apes, and so on from there.
Gotcha. Cool beans.
Yeah. Forgo not a wise and good woman, for her grace is above gold. Whereas thy servant worketh truly, entreat him not evil, nor the hireling that bestoweth himself wholly for thee. So, don't try to have gay sex with your servants.
Yeah. I think King David had a little problem with that.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Let thy soul... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, is that Jonathan guy?
Yeah. Of course, now we get to contradictions with that. Let thy soul love a good servant, and defraud him not of liberty.
So, don't make him a prisoner and love him, just don't fuck him, okay?
I'm guessing.
Well, if your dominatrix has a strap on, you may not have to worry.
Or you may not have any choice.
Yeah. There is that.
Mm-hmm.
Hast thou cattle? Have an eye to them, and if they be for thy profit, keep them with thee. So, cows? Okay.
Look at your cows. And not with your brown eye.
You. Hast thou children? Instruct them and bow down their neck from their youth. That doesn't sound very good.
No.
Hast thou daughters? Okay, so daughters aren't covered under children. Okay. Have a care of their body and show not thyself cheerful towards it. So if you have daughters,
grope them, but don't be happy about it.
Yeah. Or you can ogle them, but you have to be an asshole while you do it. Okay. That's fucked up.
That's the Bible.
Oh, the next one's even worse.
Marry thy daughter. Oh, you know what they say, the closer the kin, the deeper it goes in.
Oh, and I thought Muhammad was bad.
And so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter.
Oh.
But give her to a man of understanding. Mm-hmm. Hast thou a wife after thy mind? Wait, so your wife is a zombie and she's chasing after you going, brains, brains.
Well, that's the only way that guy's going to get laid outside the dominatrix.
Forsake her not, but give not thyself over to a light woman. So date fat chicks.
Fat zombie chicks.
Yeah. Honor thy father with thy whole heart, and forget not thy sorrows of thy mother.
Okay, because of course all women are miserable all the time.
Well, considering the dickheads in the Bible, it's not really surprising.
Yep. Remember that thou wast begotten of them. Oh, more begatting. Lovely. And how canst thou recompense them the things that they have done for thee? So, kiss their ass because they fucked and had you, okay?
Right, and, if they treated you like shit, that's still no excuse for you to put them in the shitty nursing home when they're older.
Yeah. Or just, leave them on the sand dune to die. Fear the Lord with all thy soul and reverence his priests. Didn't we cover that already?
Yeah, I think we did.
Love him that made thee with all thy strength and forsake not his ministers. So, you're supposed to get molested by priests?
That's the way it reads to me.
Okay.
I mean, that's...
No wonder he ended up with a dominatrix with a strap on.
Yeah. Fear the Lord and honor the priest. On your knees. And give him his portion. Oh, boy. As it is commanded thee, the first fruits, and the trespass offering, and the gift of the shoulders, and the sacrifice of the sanctification, and the first fruits of the holy things.
That sounds like a hell of an orgy.
Yep. And stretch thine hand unto the poor, so I guess you're giving them a hand job, that thy blessing might be perfected.
Practice makes perfect. Okay. Yep. A gift hath grace in the sight of every man living, and for the dead detain it not. Oh, now we're into necrophilia. Lovely. Fail not to be with them that weep, and mourn with them that mourn. Be not slow to visit the sick, for that shall make thee to be beloved. So, go bang people in the hospital. Do you want me to take the last one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Whatsoever thou takest in hand, remember the end, and thou shalt never do amiss. and don't forget to leave a tip.
This is what we call a Dutch rudder.
Oh, shit.
Strive not with a mighty man, lest thou fall into his hands. So only fuck weak dudes. Don't fuck big, strong guys. They'll break you in half.
So what are the big, strong guys supposed to do if they want to be a good Christian?
I don't know.
Find somebody bigger and stronger, I guess? I don't know.
Be not at variance with a rich man, lest he overweigh thee. For gold hath destroyed many, and perverted the hearts of kings. Yeah. Strive not with a man that is full of tongue. And heap not wood upon his fire.
Come on, baby, light my fire. Jest not with the rude man, lest thy ancestors be disgraced. They're dead. What the fuck are they gonna know? Reproach not a man that turneth from sin, but remember that we all are worthy of punishment. Right. That's where the dominatrix comes in.
Okay,
gotcha.
So the guy who does good stuff still should get his ass beat.
Yes, apparently. Dishonor not a man in his old age, for even some of us wax old. Oh, but not everybody gets old. Okay.
Or there's another term, or, meaning to the word wax, if you get my... So apparently, if Grandpa can still get it up, you gotta polish his knob.
Oh.
Rejoice not over thy greatest enemy being dead, but remember, we die all. Despise not the discourse of the wise, but acquaint thyself with their proverbs, for of them thou shalt learn instruction, and how to serve great men with ease. So, you'll be a slut for Trump.
Yep. So miss not the discourse of the elders, for they also learned of their fathers, and of them shalt learn understanding, and give answer as need requireth. That was pretty convoluted.
Yeah.
Kindle not the coals of a sinner, lest thou be burnt with the flames of his fire. That's like the 6th fucking time he said that now. At least. Rise not up in anger at the presence of an injurious person, lest he lie in wait to entrap thee in thy words. I don't know. If he's injurious, I think his words are the least of your worries.
Yep. Lend not unto him that is mightier than thyself, for if thou lendest him, count it but lost. Huh?
That's actually, don't give anybody money that you can't afford to not get back, because you probably won't get it back.
Okay. Be not surety above thy power, for if thou be surety, take care to pay it.
That's a loan, I think.
Yeah. Go not to law with a judge, for they will judge for him according to his honor.
That's what they're supposed to do, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Unless you're a right-wing nut job bitching about activist judges, in which case, no, they're not supposed to judge anything. Travel not by the way with a bold fellow, lest he become grievous unto thee. For he will do accounting to his own will, and shalt perish with him through his folly. Strive not with an angry man, and go not with him into a solitary place, for blood is as nothing in his sight, and where there is no help, he will overthrow thee. Well, yeah, don't go with an angry dude into a dark alley at night. Duh.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're in a horror movie, in which case it's kind of required. Consult not with a fool, for he cannot keep counsel. Okay.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
I thought they were just supposed to make people laugh anyway.
Do no secret thing before a stranger, for thou knowest not what he will bring forth.
So no whacking off in front of strangers, because he might come too.
Yep. Open not thine heart to every man, lest he requite thee with a shrewd turn. Got me.
Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself. Why the fuck would you do that? That's kind of self-defeating, but okay.
Yeah.
Give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance.
If she steps in your man goo, she's no good.
Yep. Well, just don't put that shit on the floor. That's what condoms and swallowing's for. Come on. Look at poor Onan, man. Look when he dropped that shit on the floor. You're lucky you get a chance to have anybody step in it. Oh, gross. Meet not with a harlot, lest thou fall into her snares. Oh. Yeah, it's the oldest profession, man. Like, just make sure you can afford it.
Yeah. Use not much the company of a woman that is a singer. I thought women in that time were forbidden from singing.
Well, but then that means she's probably a harlot. And that's why you should avoid her in the first place.
Well, I know they were prohibited from singing in the temple. Women were.
Yes.
Lest thou be taken with her attempts. Gaze not on a maid, that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her. So don't look at virgins.
Yeah, because you're going to want her.
Not me. I'm not a big fan of virgins, but that's another story.
Yeah. That's not presumptuous, then.
Yeah.
To think every dude's going to want a virgin. Because, I mean, from the female side, I sure as hell wouldn't want one either. And I've been offered a few.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Give not thy soul unto harlots, that thou lose not thine inheritance. Okay, so you can't screw virgins, and you can't screw easy women. Well, then who the hell's left to fuck?
You're only supposed to fuck your wife. Well, and your dominatrix called Wisdom with the giant strap on.
And your daughter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and daughter. So there's a few options.
Yeah, there's a few.
But what if your daughter's a virgin? Then you're fucked.
Yeah.
But not literally. Look not round about thee in the streets of the city, neither wander thou in the solitary place thereof. So don't look where you're going?
I guess, and don't be by yourself, unlike that, like Esdras, who went out in the middle of nowhere and ate a bunch of poppies and hallucinated.
Yeah. That's right. Found his random road dog.
Yep.
Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty, for many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith love is kindled as fire. So your wife has to be an ugly chick?
At least a single bagger, if not a double bagger, I'm guessing.
Because you don't want to light her fire. That would be bad, apparently. Sit not at all with another's wife, nor sit down with her in thine arms, and spend not thy money with her at the wine, lest thine heart incline unto her, and so through thy desire thou fall into destruction. Okay, so don't fuck your neighbor's wife. We think we've covered that in Genesis too.
Yeah.
Although the wine and all of that's a little more detail, I guess. I guess that's how not to fuck your neighbor's wife.
But what if your neighbor wants you to fuck his wife?
Well, then you have a problem. Maybe you can swap out for the dominatrix.
Yeah, that might work.
He might like a strap-on.
Yeah. Forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable to him. A new friend is as new wine. When it is old, thou shalt drink it with pleasure. Yeah, okay. Envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end.
Yes, you do, because you spent 5 fucking verses before telling us.
Yeah. Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember, they shall not go unpunished unto their grave.
Okay. Keep thee far from the man that hath power to kill. Well, that fucking makes sense. Duh. Don't piss off James Bond. Right. So shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. And if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city. Well, don't walk on the battlements, dude, because you can fall off. The guy just has to push you off. That's stupid in the first place. But yeah, don't piss off the guy that can kill you.
Yeah, well, and if you're on the battlements, that means you're pretty much an easy target, because everybody can see you.
As near as thou canst, guess at thy neighbor and consult with the wise. So, make shit up when you're talking to your neighbor. Save it for a wise guy,
I guess, I don't know. Let thy talk be with the wise, and all thy communication in the law of the Most High. Okay. But there's nothing in the Bible about prostate problems, and if you got to talk to your doc, nothing about colon cancer either, And just let men eat and drink with thee. Don't fuck the dudes, okay?
Yeah, no dude fucking.
Yeah. And let thy glorying be in the fear of the Lord. For the hand of the artificer the work shall be commended, and the wise ruler of the people for his speech. A man of an ill tongue is dangerous in his city, and
well, that's how you get a disease, man.
Yeah.
He's got an ill tongue, don't touch that shit.
And he that is rash in his talk shall be hated.
See, he's got a rash. Don't go there.
Yep.
A wise judge will instruct the people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. That makes no fucking sense. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. I thought God appointed kings, so wouldn't that be God's fault if he's a fuck up?
Yep. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. So God's all about them money. All about the pigeons. Yep. In the hand of God is the prosperity of man. I've never heard a penis called that before. And upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor.
So he's going to flop that honor right on the scribe. Yeah. Okay.
Bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practices.
Okay, so don't get too rambunctious in the bedroom. Gotcha. Pride is hateful before God and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. What the fuck does that even mean?
Got me.
Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such a one setteth his own soul to sale, because he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. You should probably see a doctor for that. Yeah. Yeah, don't put the strap on there if you're casting off bowels, okay?
Yeah.
It's time to stop.
It's like, there's this gal I work with, she got real sick and came down, and it turned out she had colon cancer.
Oh dear!
And they apparently they caught it in time, and they operated on her, and she's been through chemo and all that, and she's lost an awful lot of weight. And it's like, wow, you really look good now that you've lost all the weight. Sorry, it had to be colon cancer that caused you to lose the weight.
I know. I was just thinking that's a sucky way to lose weight.
Yeah, I mean, she looks gorgeous now, and it's like, oh, that's just, it's a shame that was what caused this to happen. Of course, and I mentioned that when I was out after NanoCon, we went to the after party. And we're walking down Broadway in Nashville, and she happens to be going the other way and didn't recognize me. And I mentioned it to Joe Kendick, and he's like, when I got to the part about her having colon cancer, and he's like, oh, so I guess anal sex is out.
Oh, that's our Joe.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that guy.
Yep. But we're not. This isn't going to be any better. The physician cutteth off a long disease.
I think that means colostomy.
I think you're right. And he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die.
So the king's throwing his bowels and got a colostomy. Yeah. Okay.
For when a man is dead, he shall inherit creeping things, beasts, and worms.
Ooh.
The beginning of pride is when one departeth from God, and his heart is turned away from his Maker.
Okay. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities, and overthrow them utterly. So is that a euphemism for more STDs?
I'm thinking.
The Lord hath cast down the thrones of proud princes, and set up the meek in their stead. The Lord hath plucked up the roots of the proud nations, and planted the lowly in their place. So that's what happened to you guys.
Well, yeah, but I have a feeling we're going to be doing that to the rest of the planet.
Oh, no. Yeah, we got your dough. Pause off.
The Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. But Rome only fell after it became a Christian country.
Yep.
Just gotta point that out. He took... What?
I just said, yep,
He took some of them away and destroyed them, and hath made their memorial to cease from the earth. Pride was not made for men. Then why do we have it? Nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. But if you're born of a man...
Yeah, I guess you can be as pissed off as you want to be.
Well, and I have, at this point in time, if you had a C-section, if you were born by a C-section,
yeah,
you weren't considered born of a woman.
Because you hadn't gone out the old vagina.
Yeah, because that was the whole thing with Macbeth.
Yes.
He tells, Leon Macduff, no man born of woman shall ever harm me, and Macduff says, I was not born of a woman, I was, I forget whatever it was, but he was a C-section birth.
I was cut from my mother, blah, blah, yeah.
And then...
That bit about taking some people away, destroying them, and made a memorial to cease from the earth, that sounds an awful lot like Xenu.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
They that fear the Lord are sure seed. Oh, so they knock up chicks more often. Gotcha. And they that love him, an honorable plant.
You're a vegetable.
But you're not a disobedient fig tree, so there is that.
Yeah.
They that regard not the law are dishonorable seed, and they that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. So there's your disobedient fig tree. Okay.
Yep.
Among brethren, he that is chief is honorable. So are they that fear the Lord in his eyes. The fear of the Lord goeth before the obtaining of authority, but roughness and pride is the losing thereof. Okay, we get the pride thing. Don't like pride. Okay, then as Tucker said, why the fuck did you make it?
Whether he be rich, noble, or poor, their glory is the fear of the Lord. It is not meet to despise the poor man that hath understanding, neither is it convenient to magnify a sinful man. Great men and judges and potentates shall be honored, yet is there none of them greater than he that feareth the Lord.
Holy fuck. Just be scared all the fucking time. That's the way.
If you ain't shitting your pants over Jesus, you ain't a Christian.
Oh, fuck. Unto the servant that is wise shall they that are free to do service, and he that hath knowledge will not grudge when he is reformed. Okay. Be not overwise in doing thy business, and boast not thyself in the time of thy distress. So if you have to pinch a big log, don't brag about it. Distress. Better is he that laboreth and aboundeth in all things than he that boasteth himself and wanteth bread. So you can't want bread either after you take a big dump.
Yeah. My son, glorify thy soul in meekness, and give it honor according to the dignity thereof. Who will justify him that sinneth against his own soul? And who will honor him that dishonoreth his own life? The poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches. Bam! Basically, doesn't matter how good you are, you're getting fucked because you ain't got a lot of money.
Yeah, well, that's like those right-wing nut jobs I saw recently that were like, well, minimum wage means you have minimum skills and that's all you deserve. And if you're poor, that means that you don't deserve to have a real job or stupid shit like that.
He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? None. That's why you're here. And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? None.
Yeah, I mean, Trump there still has this golden toilet, so.
Yep. All right. Why don't you tell everybody about your podcast?
Sure. Well, my main show is called Beyond the Trailer Parks, is we're trailer park cousins and all. Mm-hmm. And we are live on YouTube and Spreaker every Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And that is myself, and I now have 3 co-hosts, Beth, Morgan Stringer, and Tracy, a.k.a. the Godless Mama. So that is what we do, and this week we are interviewing Atheism 101, and the following week we're interviewing Professor Steven, and we're going to talk about flat earthers. So that should be interesting. And on Sunday morning at 12:05 a.m., so sort of Saturday night, but really Sunday morning, you can also find me on Holy Crap, the vlogcast, which is run by my friend Shujin Tribble, and we are a panel of 6 to 8 crazy people from as far away as France and the UK and Canada and all of that fun stuff. So every Sunday morning at 12:05 a.m., which we do to compete with the Woo Meisters at Coast to Coast Radio, just so in case you're wondering. So that's my stuff.
Alrighty. And fun stuff it is. I don't know. I used to listen to Coast back when Art Bell was hosting it.
Right.
Yeah, and then he came back, or he left the show for a couple of years, and then he came back with his own show, and I guess that lasted like 6 months, and then he quit doing that.
I never listened to it, but Beth did quite a bit.
He could be entertaining at times. He did have some interesting guests on there, and I'm actually responsible for him getting one guest on there.
Oh, cool.
He had Robert Anton Wilson. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
No, doesn't ring a bell.
Robert Anton Wilson hung around Timothy Leary and guys like that, and was actually he was really big into things like the Illuminati and Aleister Crowley. Didn't necessarily believe it, but he made a good living off of peddling stuff about them. And so some people kept saying, "Well, you need to have him on," and Art Bell's like, "Well, I don't know how to get a hold of him. You got to tell me how to get a hold of him." And I happen to know that Robert Anton Wilson had a website with his contact information, so I sent it to Art Bell, and like 2 weeks later, he was on. So
there you go. Awesome.
Yeah.
Goodness. I need to go get some sleep soon, I think.
Yeah. I will let you go. I do appreciate you being up this late.
I always enjoy it, as you know.
All right. Well, I'll let you go, and I will see you at ReasonCon.
Yeah, like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's it for this episode of The Atheist in the Trailer Park Podcast. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, as well as just about anywhere else podcasts can be found. Many of the episodes are also on YouTube. Follow the show on Twitter. @TParkAtheist is the show's Twitter handle. It's on Facebook at facebook.com/trailerparkatheist.com. If you happen to like the podcast, please rate it on iTunes. If you'd like to support the podcast, there's a donate button on the show notes page. You can support it via Patreon at patreon.com/TNTucker. Thanks for listening.
Say goodnight, Fosnuts.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
Damned cat.